And now, please welcome Lala Wu, co-founder and director of engagement and partnerships at Sister District Project. As one of the visionaries behind the group, she'll tell you a bit more about how we work and why supporting Florida is so important this year. Lala.
Thank you so much, Juliet, Caroline, the entire Massachusetts, Rhode Island leadership team for putting together this incredible event tonight. As Juliet mentioned, this is a personally very exciting event for me, as I did read Alan's book when I was in high school, learning how to annotate literature for the first time, and I still have those notes. It's great for me and really exciting to be able to be here tonight. So I just want to start out actually by taking us back, and I'm sorry to do this because it's probably painful, but if you can remember early November 2016, and if you can remember a little bit about how you felt on that day when you realized that Donald Trump was going to be our next president. It was probably a mix of confusion, anger, hurt, all of these feelings, as well as, if you were anything like the co-founders of Sister District, a sense of helplessness. We, at that time, all lived in the Bay Area and looked around and couldn't figure out why it was that in a place with so many resources and energy, we couldn't figure out what it was that we could do to make a difference. We couldn't figure out why it was that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by almost 3 million votes, and that Democrats are the majority of this country. But at that time, we didn't have control of any of the branches of government. We saw a bunch of different reasons. We saw voter suppression, fake news, the Electoral College, but one that really stood out to us was gerrymandering. As Juliet explained, gerrymandering is something that we can control at the state level, which is great. In most states, the state legislature controls redistricting. And this gives us hope, because some of these awful gerrymanders that have been perpetuated by Republicans, for example, in North Carolina, where Trump won by less than 50% of the vote, of the 13 congressional districts there, only 3 are held by Democrats. So that kind of imbalance is not representative, it's not fair, it's not what we want to see in our country. We should have a system where voters choose their politicians, not the other way around. So in 2020, it is our last chance, as Juliet said, for us to get these good state legislatures like Ricky and Franccesca elected so that we can make sure we are prepared to draw fair maps in 2021. This is a once in a decade opportunity, and we cannot mess this up. So thank you so much to everybody for being here. I want to tell you a little bit about how Sister District works for those of you who are new. It is an organization where there are local teams all across the country that are so-called sistered up with state legislative candidates. Then the teams will go on to fundraise, make phone calls, send postcards, text messages, etc. And through this, we've raised in total, since we were founded, over $2.1 million that's gone to our candidates and reached out to over 2.1 million voters. And in no small part due to the incredible work of this team right here in the Mass Rhode Island area. So really, really incredible work. We've got a lot more work to do. This year, we're supporting 30 candidates in 9 states, and one state I'm incredibly excited about is Florida. We need 14 seats to flip the House, and that may sound like a lot, but it's out of 120. And also, we think of this as an inroad state. It's super critical to build these long-term plans. Virginia in 2017 had a very similar deficit, and then we came back in 2019 and won the whole thing. So we can do this in Florida as well. This is the kind of long game we play here at Sister District, and that Ricky and Franccesca are going to be a part of. So, Florida is a battleground. Obama, of course, won in 2008 and 2012. Trump won it by just about a point in 2016. It's a big 4 state in this country. There are 29 electoral college votes. There are nested congressional districts. There's a lot of potential. There's so much going on here. Momentum is on our side. Andrew Gillum almost won the governorship bid in 2018. He lost by less than half a point. And so we have a lot of potential here. This is a true battleground state. And with Amendment 4 having passed, that enfranchised over 1 million formerly incarcerated people. However, another example how important state legislators are, the Republican-dominated state legislature in Florida has fought tooth and nail to prevent the implementation of Amendment 4. And this has meant that there's mass confusion. There's not going to be the kind, there are people on the ground that are fighting to make sure that every last person who's eligible to vote will be able to vote, but the Republicans in the state legislature have stood in the way. So it is incredibly, incredibly important, the work that Ricky and Franccesca are seeking to do, the work that they have done in their communities. I'm so excited to have them on the call tonight. And it's just incredible. They are such wonderful leaders. They are both in the Miami area where they were raised, where they have deep roots in the community. Could not be more thrilled to see everybody here tonight to support them, to support the work of taking back power in our state legislatures. So I know that you're all here to hear from Alan, so I will step back, but I just want to say thank you again. I feel so much gratitude and hope tonight.